there's been a lot of talk during the week that the Everest is the people's race. Forget the $20 million price tag, the big, I think it's $700,000 to buy a slot. Forget all that. Apparently, it's the people's race, according to Joe Pride. He's got 2 in it, Private Eye and Think About It. Both cheap.
Who keeps making a mistake on the page?
I did.
Oh, I make it all the time.
We both do it. Think about it and think it over.
In the copy, I made it think it over, and on the actual post, I said think about it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so got me there, but well done to everyone that picked that up.
Actually, Dave Stanley made it while he was talking to Kerry Parker
happens to
on
the best
Saturday. And Kerry pulled him up and was like, it's probably going to be the 1,000th time that it happens this spring.
DS doesn't get called out.
Yes.
Melbourne Cup, think it over. Melbourne Cup.
Didn't nominate.
Didn't.
No. Coxplate.
Changed his mind, Kerry.
Yep, didn't pay up for the second round.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Madness. But yeah, so anyway, Private Eye and Think About It around that $70,000 purchase price. Okay, so it's not a matter of, the people that are paying the $700,000 for the slot and winning the majority of that prize money, they're not the ones that are running their own horses in the race in most instances. So there's a lot of first-time owners in this. So Joe Pride has made the chat that the Everest is now the people's race, not the Melbourne Cup, because you look at who won the Melbourne Cup last year, Gold Trip, Australian Bloodstock purchased him from Europe for $2 million. Someone tried to make the argument that, well, there was 30 different syndicates in that, and there's 5% syndicates with 20 people in that, but that's $5,000 for 0.25%, so it doesn't really scream battlers.
So basically Joe Pride's saying that because fan faves and horses like that can get into the Everest.
You don't have to own the horse to put it in your own slot.
I haven't heard those comments, but I think it's spot on. And I think we touched on it on last week's show, one of the shows, about how I love Melbourne Cup Day. I have no interest in even our posts that we're putting up earlier in the week about the weights and things like that. I don't care. Yeah. I'm more interested on who's got the slots, what the next slots are.
I think I said it to you, Blake, the other week. I said it's crazy how is this our 6th year of the Everest? Maybe.
How many years have I been married?
It's been a longer than that.
Redzel, yes. Classique Legend, Nature Strip, Giga Kick. This is the 7th year.
7th year.
7th year, is that all?
Yeah. Time flies. 2017.
I would have thought it had been around longer than
I reckon.
That's okay.
But
17. It was 17.
Yeah.
Because that was the year I got married.
It was. Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
14th of October 2017.
There you go.
Or it might have been 13th. I can't remember now. But yeah, my wedding anniversary is Everest Day nearly every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'll tell you now.
That can't be true.
You know what? I'd love to go back and look at it. No.
It has to be true like every 7th year.
No, that's not.
Well, this year it's the 14th.
It's the 14th.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now, it hasn't. It's weird.
That is weird.
I think there's a leap year in there.
I don't think that's possible. But
I'm going to go.
Okay. It'd change.
It doesn't change. Anyway.
It would have to.
The Everest.
But it's transcending. Like, you're not...
It's bigger than
you
the Melbourne
just celebrate
Cup.
your anniversary on the Saturday every year. I think.
Yeah, that's true. And Everest takes precedence over my wedding anniversary.
Fair.
My wife is okay with it.
Good. Yep.
And it is an event. It is. I'm with Joe Pride on this. It is the people's race because you can have horses that are, like you said, $70,000 horse that could be a bunch of mates or a cricket club, and they all go there. Melbourne Cup's so hard, like apart from, I don't even know what general public like is getting into Melbourne Cup.
No idea.
Like we talk about Gold Trip having 30 syndicates in it and 5,000 owners. How many of them were on track?
Yeah.
The Everest owners, I'm telling you now, all of them are there.
Yeah.
Even I was listening to who trains Yellow Brick?
Tony and Maddie Sears.
Yeah, so I was listening to Maddie Sears on the radio, and she's like, Goldbrick will run in one of the races on Everest Day, and she's like, as a trainer and as a racing fan, I've always wanted to go to Everest Day to actually have a runner on Everest Day, not in the Everest, but on Everest Day, is so exciting for us. And that's what it is. It's the excitement. The Melbourne Cup, usually you're excited around events around it. I'm going to this, or work's putting on this or something like that. But I wouldn't have a clue. I just hope Francesco Guardi wins because we had a bet on Melbourne Cup Day.
Melbourne Cup Day is the best day of the year, regardless. I don't care about the Everest. I do care about the Everest, but Melbourne Cup is on a different level. Like on
Yeah.
Melbourne Cup day, I wake up and there is just an air. Like it's just enthusiasm. It's your local barista is talking about the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
He's not talking about the Everest. Everybody's opening up their telegraphs and they're seeing.
Yeah. I honestly don't remember a year. I don't buy papers, like the newspaper isn't something I go out of my way to buy, but the Sunday Mail after Derby Day, so the 2 days before the Melbourne Cup, I don't think I've ever missed a year of not buying.
You're cutting them out and doing the Calcutta.
Well, I'm doing that, but it's got the 20-page lift out with all the stories in it. I love it. It is like fantastic. The Sunday morning.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. On Everest Day, the barista's not giving a tip. Everyone's got a tip in the Melbourne Cup. Everyone loves a number or colours or a story. But how many years has the Melbourne Cup been going?
100.
Okay, so 100 years.
So
158 or something.
Let's say 150.
Maybe 160.
So it's had a 150-odd year head start on the Everest.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The Everest will be, if it isn't already, will take over the Melbourne Cup for that.
No, I don't think
Everyone
so.
will have.
I don't think so because the Melbourne Cup is a race of opinions. Because the Everest, you can have, if Black Caviar was in an Everest, she would have been near enough to unbeatable. Okay?
Yep.
Maccabi Diva in her third Melbourne Cup,
Yep.
she still started around 4 to 1. Like,
she had to carry the weight,
there
like being
is,
the handicap,
it's a handicap.
aspect.
It's 3,200 metres. There is more boxes to tick. Like the best horse just doesn't win the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, correct.
Every year, a horse from Europe is going to win the race by 8 lengths. But
that's the other thing.
How fun's that? How fun's that?
that's part of the fun.
But
It's not.
I think it
don't
is
think it
because
is.
I can remember growing up and like spending nights watching replays of European races and trying to find different replays of these European horses and get a bit of an idea on it. Like the Everest.
That's you. That's your job now. Like you were always going to be something like that. But I think
but I think it adds more elements. You get people from Europe.
Oh, I totally agree. I love the Melbourne Cup as well, but I just think Everest is more. I think it's going to be more. Very soon, it's going to overtake the Melbourne Cup.
Could the Everest
People
survive?
Everyone can have that opinion as well. I think a lot of Melbourne Cup betting is not. Majority of Melbourne Cup betting is not people doing international replays. It's people going, I saw that story on Channel 7 and that guy's from
that's
country
a great
and
thing.
his sister's crook and the horse, and they are great.
Do people in England care about the Everest though? Like they haven't got 6 horses.
Do I care about people in England?
No, but
caring about the Melbourne Cup?
Melbourne
Hey,
Cup.
They don't rate our races anyway.
the Melbourne Cup is the race that stops the world.
Yes. Could the Everest survive without the slot holders? Could it just be?
Definitely not.
You don't think?
No.
Yes, it bloody could.
But where are they going to get the 20 million from? Like
That's only 7 million of it. It's 10 slots, isn't it?
No, so
12
it's about
slots.
10 million, isn't it?
8.4
It's 20 million, 7 million to the winner. But then keep in mind, like the connections of the horse are only getting half of that. So why can't you bring it back to 10 million? You take away the slot funding, and you've got.
I think the big prize money is what started the kind of hype.
Yeah, but
you could make it. You could make it a 150k nomination fee or something.
Yeah, but then what difference is that from, say, first place is 5 million? What difference is that from winning a TJ Smith in the autumn? That's the only. I'm not necessarily saying it would work without.
No, I don't think you change.
No, I'm not saying you change it either, but I'm saying it could work without the slot holders.
Yeah,
because you're going to.
But why? I feel like that's the fun of it. I think like that's a part of the lead up. Who's going to take what slot? If anything, I wouldn't mind more kind of
slots.
More slots.
That's what actually one thing that they say you can't have more than 12 in it because of the size of the track and whatnot and the high pressure of the 1200. But then the Kosciuszko, it's 1200 meters, 14
bloody
slots.
20 in the Sydney Stakes.
Yeah, why can't we have 14 or 16 slots? Because like the reality is, the race this year would be better if Buenos Noches gets in, if Ramar gets in, if Overpass, if Osmosis, King's Gambit. Like, there's going to be 7 or 8 horses.
No problems selling
Yeah,
those
definitely.
slots
I reckon. We might buy one.
And they could do like what the tab do with the Cozzy about, giving out slot. You could do
I thought, why can't you have a people's, an
Yeah.
actual people's slot where it is?
That'd be the
All-Star
lineup
Mile
slot.
voting.
Yeah.
No, well, not even
Oh,
the,
that
not
would
even
be
the
cool.
vo-
That would actually be cool as well.
It would
a
be.
voted slot.
Voted
a
slot.
vote. Yeah, have a voted slot that maybe the ATC or the tab could do that with their slot. Have a
Voted slot. But how's that going to work? Because
No, just-
it would
it's-
maybe
Once they
like
go.
yeah. So maybe
But you put a date on it, so that means it puts the other slot holders under pressure as well. Just go, okay, well, bonus noches. If we're thinking about taking it, we need to figure it out by the 28th of September because
and that
we
slot
know
that slot
slot's
that
gonna be
slot
the-
may get 100% or something. So because you need to make
Yeah.
sure that horse is going to accept the deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have it, say, 1st of September, like 6 weeks before
Yeah.
that slot.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like even the slot, like the drama around slot holders and things like that, and what they could do. There's so much to it.
Yeah,
there's so
correct.
much to it, and that's why it is the people's race.
And even
I
this-
think you're right. The Melbourne Cup is it is the race that stops the nation, but then that's it.
Yeah.
Where it's just that day. I reckon there's a lot more to the lead up of the Everest where people aren't.
Well,
Melbourne
that's-
Cup people aren't knowing these European stayers.
And it probably, it really does come down to the marketing of it, honestly, because you look at,
Yeah.
what are we now? We're 3.5 weeks away from the Everest,
Yeah.
where that then means we're 6 weeks away from the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
Racing New South Wales, they own Sky Thoroughbred Central. They've got that show dedicated. It's called The Trek to the Everest.
Yeah.
It's dedicated every week. It's an hour where they do interviews with trainers. They talk to slot holders. They go back and they review the main sprinting lead-ups. Like the Melbourne Cup, you wouldn't,
It doesn't start happening.
it doesn't start happening until the week before, where they get
the
when
day.
Francesco
Great day,
Comani touches down in Francesco Comani, not Francesco Gardi.
Got him.
Got it.
He's on the Francesco
I'm not on the
train
bandwagon.
too.
I'm not on the bandwagon. But
Yeah,
like,
that's how I would look at it. And you talk about marketing. Well, obviously, most of the money through this industry comes from bookies.
Mm-hmm.
You're not having many lead-up bets to the Melbourne Cup. You might have a few futures bets, and then everyone bets on the day.
yeah,
But I'm going to back something in the Premier Stakes. I'm going to back something like you're seeing them run. You're seeing them that prep in the lead up to the Everest.
and I think the sprinters, it's more enjoyable to watch the sprinters on the way through to their grand final than the stayers, because if you're a Francesco Gardi fan, he runs a nice 7th, hitting the line over
we spoke about this the other
1400.
week,
Yeah,
I feel like I'm so excited about that bet that we've had.
No, I'm just
no,
But
but
it's like-
I mean,
just
like,
rubbing my hands together. That's what I'm doing all proud.
all
Like,
that-
Oh,
good,
what a great 7th. There's no enjoyment in that.
no enjoyment in that. Whereas if you're a private eye fan and you see him win first up in the shorts, it's like, all right, we're on
Yeah.
here because he's going to be winning races on the way to his grand final.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to see 1,200 metres. They're all there, like they're sprinters. Whereas,
Honestly, apart from last year, every Everest has been a fill up for me due to the lead up as well.
yeah,
Liking something in the lead up.
I think yes.
They
And
just
Gigi
like
kicked the two
even if you just because you're around those horses,
Yeah.
you're sitting there. It's probably the easiest to do form on too.
Yep.
Like 1,200 meter horses, like the fields are there. You know what horses you're talking about. You know they're all aiming for this prep now.
Yeah.
And
then when
just
they
an
get to
everyday
Everest, they've
punter.
raced each other 3 times on the way through. Whereas
100%.
Melbourne Cup, it's like, you've got 4 horses from the Caulfield Cup, 2 from the Cox Plate.
Oh, and that thing ran a great 16 furlong one through the car park in Cork. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
How do I fit that into the
Yeah, the
I
win
think-
at Red Car really
Yeah.
set tongues
I think
wagging.
the punters, I think Everest is for the Australian punters
Yeah, I like that.
and Melbourne Cup is for everyone.
Yep. Melbourne Cup's the best race. I agree.
Yeah.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.